Welcome to another episode, everyone. Monster Cody. Been a lot in the headlines about him lately. Here's an opportunity to hear the man speak himself, to become familiar with Monster Cody and make your own judgments and your own decisions. I figure if I played what Spider had to say about him, it's only right that I let him speak for himself. He's in Pelican Bay State Prison here during this interview with 60 Minutes. In fact, I ran this on my channel over a year ago. But for those who are new to the channel, or for those who didn't see it, or for those who want to catch up on Monster Cody and get a refresher, well, here it is. So I guess in a crazy twist, I'm reacting to my own video. But get familiar with Monster Cody yourself. He was indeed a brilliant individual, to say the least, if nothing else. What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode. Hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and share the video. Hit the join button and become a member. Why? Well, members get exclusive content. Hit the bell icon on my channel so that you'll receive a notification every time that I drop a video, and you can go and check the video out and leave a comment, my good people, and leave a like. Let's get into this. This is a story on Monster Cody from Gangster. For those who may not know who he is or what he represented, you may be in Australia or what have you. I have subscribers out there who may not necessarily know who he is. Many of you do know who he is. I'm going to do a story on him soon, an in-depth story on him, in-depth. And he had written a book while he was in the Pelican Bay shoot on a regular, with a regular pencil and regular pieces of paper, showcasing and illustrating his vast intelligence, articulation, and brightness. But his life was filled with turmoil in many different ways. And Monster Cody passed away a few years ago. And he was from Gangster crib. And the book that he had written, many people at the time and years later were talking about it. They had a problem with it. They said that he had mentioned names in there and he should not have done that he had exposed too much. And they didn't like it. I'll give you my take on it and my take on his life when I do my story. But for now, I'm going to let Monster Cody speak for himself. And I'll just stop the video, pause it here and there to react. But here is a 60 Minutes interview that Monster Cody did. It's some years old. Many of you, I'm sure, have already seen the video. And I'll let him speak for himself. Very intelligent brother. And let's get to know Monster Cody a little bit and what he stood for. Again, a gang member, a Crip, who became legendary, famous after he wrote his book. I was talking a lot back then. I was like, man, shut up, get to the video, boy. Let's get into it. Now I just get to it, though.
Now he subdued the literary world with a memoir that some have compared to the autobiography of Malcolm X and Eldridge Cleaver's Soul on Ice. He is handsome, bright, and articulate, but he won't be making the rounds of the talk shows or book parties.
Back up, don't climb on the door. Face the wall over here.
He is presently occupied at the Pelican Bay State Prison, the Devil's Island of the California penal system, where he's serving a 7-year sentence for robbery and assault, indisposed to all but carefully screened guests.
Escort coming in.
He spends 22.5 hours a day in solitary confinement, where he wrote his autobiography with a prison-issue pencil. According to the show business daily Variety, his New York literary agents, Janklow and Nesbitt, sold it for $250,000. And now, Hollywood mogul Michael Ovitz's agency is peddling the movie rights.
This book is 383 pages of
killings, stabbings, beatings, drive-by shootings, revenge killings. At one point, you amputate the arms of a rival gang member. Explain that to me.
This book is 383 pages of reality. I'm uniquely qualified to write 383 pages of life for this generation, and that's what I've done. So it's 383 pages of gore, no doubt about that, but it's reality. It happens every day.
In Monster's case, it was everything from carjacking to robbery to murder, with names, dates, and places altered slightly in the book to protect the guilty. The Los Angeles Times called him a walking, stalking, incarcerated end product of America's assault on the black psyche. The New York Times praised the book as a raw and frightening portrait of gang life.
Where I lived, we grew and died in dog years. Actually, some dogs outlived us. Where I lived, stepping on someone's shoe was a capital offense, punishable by death. The underlying factor that usually got you killed was the principle. The principle is respect, a linchpin critical to relations between all people, but magnified by 30 in the ghettos and slums across America.
Are you proud of these words?
I'm proud of the words, yes. Not necessarily the deeds, but I'm proud of the words.
What was your reaction when you saw the New York Times review?
I kind of jumped around the cell a bit, you know. First time I've ever been recognized by a civilian for something other than aggression, naked aggression.
Is that important to you to be recognized by civilians?
This is not for recognition. It's the truth, you know. Somebody had to speak about it. Somebody had to say something.
This was the center of Monster Cody's existence, one small violent part of Los Angeles, the corner of Florence and Normandy, where last year's riots broke out. He grew up just a few blocks from here, and this is the neighborhood where he made his reputation, with the 8 Trey Gangsters, a violent, predatory faction of the Crips, one battalion in the Los Angeles gang wars. He joined the Crips at age 11 on the day he graduated from the 6th grade. That night, he says he was given a shotgun, and for his initiation, he pumped 8 rounds into the ranks of a rival gang.
Why would an 11-year-old want to carry a gun and go out and kill people?
It was necessary. It was either I got with the power.
So we talking about Monster Cody at 11 years old. He said he joined his gang at 11 years old and shot someone 8 times with a 12 shot 8 times at 11 years old. So he started very early and was violent and vicious and brutal very early. But early in his interview, his intelligence is on display. He says he's just dealing with reality and that the book is just reality. He's not proud of the deeds, but he is proud of the book. He is proud of the words.
Or I was a victim. Either you get with it or you don't. It's pressure, peer pressure. It's normal. And this is normality. There's no measuring stick for normality where we live. And so whatever happens to be the trend at that particular time, which was shooting people, was the normal thing to do. It didn't matter that I was 11. You know, I could have been 9.
I want to read you something that you wrote. My participation in the gangs came as second nature. To be in a gang in South Central when I joined, and it's still the case today, is the equivalent of growing up in Grosse Pointe, Michigan and going to college. Everyone does it.
Everyone does it. And those who don't are considered weak, because now we have a measuring stick, and the measuring stick is to be a gunfighter, to be a fighter. You know, that's the measuring stick to manhood in our community now, as was the case then.
What did you like about the people that were in the Crips in your neighborhood?
The power they seemed to wield. They had this allure. They were free. See, you had 2 classes. You had the victims and you had the assailants. And the assailants always seemed to be my heroes because they seemed to come away victorious every time.
It would become his career, his calling, as he wrote in the book, not some awkward stage of his life, but a job. At 15, he was arrested for assault. A year later, he was shot 6 times in an ambush. He survived to become a general with the title OG, Original Gangster, a full-fledged ghetto star.
Do you have any idea how many people you've killed?
No. No, I don't even know. I wonder how many people Oliver North killed. I don't know. Or Norman Schwarzkopf. He's a hero, isn't he? I don't know. I don't know.
But you remember doing it.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I was engaged in a war, and the rules of engagement were kill or be killed, you know?
You say it's a war. Who are the sides? Who's fighting who? Over what?
It's a war actually for nothing other than the destruction of human beings. The end result is to create funerals. As many soldiers as you can drop on the other side is considered success. And with the dropping of bodies, the pushing out of people, you get a reputation, which is like the pinnacle, and you climb the ladder, just as in any other organization or corporation or army or anything you climb a ladder, and that becomes your goal.
To win respect.
To win respect.
Why respect?
Because there's no objective respect coming from quote unquote society. So when you don't feel respect, you create what is respect to you.
The lines at that.
He had a lot more going for him than most of his peers. He was raised by his mother, Bertie Scott, in a modest but comfortable section of South Central Los Angeles.
Doesn't fit the stereotype. I mean, it's nice lawns, people take care of their houses. Looks like a working class neighborhood.
Yes.
No drive-by shootings.
No, never.
His biological father, according to Bertie, is Dick Bass, the former NFL running back for the Los Angeles Rams. His godfather was Ray Charles, a family friend.
I'd like to think that had I not had to work 2 jobs, I could have spent a little more time and maybe he would not have become a monster.
Did you try and stop him?
Of course. I tried everything. Cub Scout.
So that's a mother for you right there, right? You know, she's blaming herself. That's a mother for you. I just wanted to point that out real quick. That's a mother for you. She's about to cry and all of that, you know, like my mother always did. That's a mother for you. What'd she just say? I just felt like if I didn't work 2 jobs, he wouldn't have turned out to be a monster. So she's blaming herself for working to feed the family because I'm sure the father wasn't around. That's why she's working 2 jobs. She has a man in the home. Why would she have to work 2 jobs? And the father, as we can see, was an NFL player, an NFL running back for the Los Angeles Rams. Should have been a millionaire. Why is she working 2 jobs? But she's blaming herself, saying, if I didn't work 2 jobs, this wouldn't have happened to him. He wouldn't have been a monster. Let me rewind that real quick. Listen to that, y'all. That's crazy. Mom's blaming herself. It ain't your fault, moms.
I'd like to think that had I not had to work 2 jobs, I could have spent a little more time and maybe he would not have become a monster.
Did you try and stop him?
Of course. I tried everything. Cub Scouts, I went child guardians, everything that I could reach out and try and get a hold of just to get some help, some kind of help. It just couldn't come fast enough because there were too many other children that were having the same kind of problem, parents having the same kind of problem, and there were too many people ahead of my little guy. And as time was moving on, he was moving on. So there was just no help.
I want to read you something from the book. I enjoyed being Monster Cody. I lived for the power surge of playing God, having the power of life and death in my hands.
Wow.
He obviously liked it.
He did.
And he was good at it.
He was that kind of person. whatever he decided to do.
Come on, man. Why you want to talk to moms about this, though? Why you want to point out that part of the book? He said a lot of other stuff in the book. Point out the fact that he's intelligent to moms, that he's brilliant. I mean, you don't have to sugarcoat stuff, but why go to that? She already said what she said, that, you know, if she'd have did something different, that perhaps he would not have been a monster. She's already taken the onus on herself, blaming herself, and she should not be. But I'm sure she read the book. She don't need you to repeat it to her.
He was going to do it well. He always wanted to do better than anyone else. Always.
You don't have most of the usual excuses. You didn't grow up in the projects. You had a very strong mother. Your biological father is
Absent.
an
Missing in action.
NFL football player.
But yeah, I hear you.
Your godfather's Ray Charles.
Yeah. But while my mother's at work being a working class woman, while my father was on the football field, while Ray was in the recording studio, I was in the street. You know what I mean? I was being influenced by social forces that they couldn't even touch, couldn't even understand. And my mother couldn't protect me from that. Ray couldn't come get me all the time. And Dick never came. But, you know what I mean? So,
Do you resent that?
to a great extent, no doubt about it, I hate him. You know what I mean? I hate him because I think about what I could have been, you know? And I can't dig that, man. You're running out of your kids, you know? You know, father thing, man. But that's just heavy to me now, you know? That's just heavy.
Would it have made a difference, do you think?
Yeah, because I wouldn't have to go to the street to find the street people, you know? To find, you know, people in the street, you know?
He says he's
Wow. That's deep, man. So, as y'all can see, Monster Cody there, he got emotional. And maybe that's a glimpse into his soul, into the way that he was thinking, into his pain. People wonder why we do some of the things that we do. Here he is, a grown man now, a gangster, famous, with some sort of money because the book had been selling well. The book had made him famous. And he's in the Pelican Bay shoe, hardcore prison. And he's on national television crying about his father not being there. And says the word hate, says that he hates his father because he believes that he could have became something had his father been in his life. And we know that statistics show that children who are raised in single parent households have a lesser chance of success later on in life. In fact, these studies also show that children who are raised by a single female have a greater chance of going to prison than children who are raised by either both parents or a single father. It's true. You can look it up. So the absence of this man's father many years later is still bothering him, for him to cry many years later about his father, who's an NFL player, running back, a prominent position in the NFL, had to have some sort of money, but money's not everything. His father wasn't there physically, mentally, emotionally. And many years later, decades later, it's bothering Monster Cody because some of this had contributed to his wayward ways as a youth. I'm not absolving him, excusing, or justifying his behavior. but sometimes our childhood does affect our adulthood. I understand this pain. I saw my father just a few times in my life up until I had paroled from Salinas Valley in 2009. In October of 2009, a few weeks later, or a couple of weeks later, my father was living in Long Beach, was diagnosed with lung cancer, even though he had quit smoking a few years prior. And it was irreversible. There was nothing they could do. I watched him die. I watched him wither away, turn from a big, powerful man to a small, frail, skinny man. And he was lying there dead in the bed. I was there when they came and picked him up, my father. And so we had the last couple, and that was in January of 2010, and I got out in October of 2009. So for those couple of months, 3 months or so, we had conversations and we had saw each other, and I lived with him for a few of those weeks and all of that. But up until the end, up until that age, I saw my father. Up until 2009, when I got out in October, I saw my father when I was 12 years old, and he bought me a beer. And we was on by 110th and Vermont or something. Took me to the liquor store. I was with my mother and bought me a beer. My mother said, "Don't give him no damn beer." I saw him that day, and hell, I don't remember seeing him again until 2009. So I understand this pain, man.
Put that life behind him. He's adopted the African name Senyika Shakur, unifier of people, and now, through his writing, wants to help put an end to gang violence.
I like the pen better than the weapon, actually, now, because I know I can reach more people. And I'm not into destruction for destruction's sake.
Not everyone buys it. Certainly not Bambi Moyer, the prosecutor in Riverside County, California, who last put Monster away.
How would you describe Cody Scott?
I would almost say that he is chameleon-like, because of the fact that when he was in court, he was extremely calm, extremely respectful. He's a bright guy. He is not dumb, extremely intelligent, and I think extremely entrenched in the gang lifestyle. That is his life.
A hardcore killer.
Mm-hmm. I think Cody Scott would kill you just as soon as he would shake your hand.
One of the prosecutors who put you here told us that you were the perfect sociopath. Somebody who was able to use their brains and their charm to manipulate people in society.
Sounds like Robert Dole, doesn't it? A sociopath. That's heavy. No, I don't think so. I'm a regular cat. You know what I mean? I'm a regular person.
You're not a regular person to most people. You've shot people, you've killed people.
I've had an eventful life.
Do you feel any respect to allegiance for the city of Los Angeles, the state of California, the United States of America?
Not one iota. I'm not even a citizen of America. I'm a citizen of the People's Republic of New Africa. And no, I don't. America is... No.
He says he's renounced gang violence, but now he's embraced a radical black separatist cause that some consider even more dangerous. According to Monster, that's why he's in Pelican Bay.
I'm what they call an organizer, an agitator. And when I transformed from being a Crip to being a revolutionary, I became a threat.
Are you a threat?
Apparently, I'm in solitary confinement, sitting here in chains. Apparently, someone thinks I'm a threat.
With 2 armed guards right next to you.
This is a college to me. I'm training in revolutionary science. I'm locked in my cage and using what I have to get what I want. So when I get out, I may...
So yeah, he said it, y'all. What did Monster Cody just say? When he turned from a Crip to a revolutionary, that's when he became a threat. Did you hear him? Well, are you a threat? Apparently. I'm chained up. I'm in Pelican Bay. Got 2 armed guards behind me, even though I'm sitting here in chains. Then the one armed guard, he do all that. Man, knock it off. He became a threat when he became a revolutionary. But he says he's using Pelican Bay, the SHU program, as a college. Right? Which means he's in there studying, as he said, in revolutionary science. But he's studying. He's using the place as a college. He's studying. The video's about to come to an end in a minute, and at the end it's going to be a little bit of bonus footage of just gangs and gang violence for just a couple of minutes that was happening in Los Angeles, California at this time. Actual footage, and the footage is crazy. But let's finish with Monster Cody. As you guys can see, intelligent, well-spoken, bright, and I wish he would have expounded. I wish he would have expounded more upon the "No, I'm not an American" statement. Got a little bit more in depth with that, but that's okay. I certainly can, if I wanted to, which I might one day. Don't push me.
You'd be an upstanding, quote-unquote, citizen, being that I won't commit crime because I'm not a criminal. But every day of my life will be working towards the independence of my people. So I won't rob nobody. I won't sell crack. I won't shoot nobody that doesn't deserve to be shot. I won't commit an act where the police will have to come looking for me, because it's not the type of thing with me anymore.
Escort.
It's not just me, but a generation of people who have lost their way. There's a multitude of monsters out there. I just happen to be the one to come and articulate the position.
Monster's book is out now. Monster himself will be out in 1995.
All right. There we have it, man. Monster Cody. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Intelligent brother, as you all can see. I just wanted, to play that video. I didn't want to interrupt it much. I'd already did a video on it that I was playing there. I already said what I had to say about it for the most part. I just wanted to play that and let him speak. Let him speak without interruption for the most part. But there you go. Perhaps that can get some of you familiarized with him. What do you think now of having heard this about Monster Cody? Obviously, you can't, necessarily make a judgment on someone based on one interview that you don't know, because he did an interview and, but you can still get a feel for someone's soul, someone's heart, I believe, by hearing them speak, whether or not they are sincere and are genuine. I believe that you can figure that out. So, clearly a brilliant individual. Yeah, clearly very smart. He went the revolutionary way, had essentially denounced gang banging. He was still Monster Cody, but he was done with that shit. As am I. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Rest in peace to Monster Cody. Stay safe and stay free, people.